Hey there folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Follow Justice Ace Attorney. Thank you, Capcom Creators, for the code. Last part, we wrapped up the second round of investigation for the second trial. Now we're on to day 2. The second half of the trial. Something. I could have kept going with that. Let's go. June 17th, 9:52 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. This is it! The big day! Did you get any sleep? Yeah, I went to bed at 1 a.m. or so. Oh, what time did you wake up? 3 a.m. That's only 2 hours, Apollo. But at least you have me. And the amazing Mr. Hat. Here's looking to you, kid. Good luck today, Apollo. Have voice. And get any sleep? Mr. Wright. It's going out of my mind with boredom, so I signed myself out earlier today. Somehow the place makes fake piano playing at the Indochine pause to join seem almost fun. Daddy, do you know who Prosecutor Gavin's witness is today? Take a guess. How about Little Plum? That Sherman tank of a mom? Nope, guess again. That's too bad, you know. Speaking of moms, yeah, find me a new mommy one of these days, Daddy. It's barely morning, you're already at it, Trucy. Okay, so this is why I don't buy their father-daughter relationship. So, Mr. Wright, do you know who the prosecution's witness is? Alita, your client's fiance. She's gonna be a witness? Well, that seems odd. Why would she testify against her own fiance? We have to wonder what Gavin's up to. Something's going down today, that much is clear. Well, not to worry, I've got my panties back. If we can't find a killer, I'll pull one out of there. June 17th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Court is now session for the trial of walkie-talkie. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is warmed up in a sold-out house. I lost his voice. Very well, to recap, well, yesterday's witness seemed more guilty than any other party. Guilty of panty snatching? We did find out one thing for certain. There were 3 people in the park at the time of the murder. Witness, the victim, and the defendant. Correct, Judge. And today I'd like to do something a little new age. I look at this horrible crime from the outside. The outside? The acquisition of the murder weapon, the preparation for the act. Our poor defendant told all, you see, to his betrothed. His betrothed? His fiancée, Judge, his partner for life, with no chance of parole. Very well, you may show the unlucky lady to the stand. Your name and occupation, Florlin? Alita, my occupation is future wife. Traditional values, I respect that. Too many brides these days can't even weave baskets blindfolded underwater. You're here today as a witness for the prosecution. To be honest, I didn't want to testify at first, but I couldn't hide the truth. Honesty, another admirable trait. Florlin, is it true that on the day of the crime, the defendant walkie-talkie confessed his plans? His plans for murder? Yes. Witness will please give her testimony to the court. Witness testimony. Walkie's plans. It was the day the family health checkup results came back. When Walkie found out that Dr. Marcus had lied, he flew into a rage. I'll teach him, he said. He took one of the family's pistols. And you don't know what happened that night. I just don't see how anyone but Walkie could have done it. So the pistol did belong to the Kitaki family then? Yes, with regards to this, an investigation is underway at the Kitaki mansion on charges of the possession of illegal firearms. And the bullet that took the victim's life was fired from the pistol the defendant procured. Yes, this has been proven. Can you prove something like that? Bullets carry marks from the barrels that fired them. That's called rifling marks. Rifling marks? Think of them as being a gun's fingerprints left on every bullet it fires. And when did you first hear about Walkie's plan? It was the day of the murder. I should have stopped him. I just didn't think he would actually do it. Very well. The defense may begin a cross-examination. Alright. All my health checkups came back. When I found out about my life, it was for a rage. All teaching us they one of the family's pistols.
Hold it!
So, is it easy to take a pistol out from the house? Not really, I think. There's a system in place to limit access. Milwaukee's a special case, being the next in line. Perhaps his treatment was a bit too special, yeah? Well, maybe he is a bit spoiled. I hear he got amazing presents for his birthday. Last year was a switchblade made out of chewing gum and a chocolate greystone. Sounds like he has a taste for sweets and danger. Point here being that Walkie had access to a pistol. I already know what happened that night.
Hold it!
What happened? Meaning the murder. I tried to stop him, I really did. But Walkie wouldn't listen. Our defendant was nothing if not determined, it seems. The last thing you should do is blame yourself, miss. I just don't see how you want to...
Hold it!
How can you say that for certain? How?
Objection!
Herr Forehead, you will refrain from badgering the Fräulein. It was the defendant, Walkie, was it, who took the pistol from his home? We know this for a fact now. I suppose we do. So, how could anyone else have used his pistol to shoot the victim? They could not. Simple logic, yeah? That does seem to be the case. Does the defense have anything to say regarding this point? Someone else have used that pistol? There was another. Based on your testimony, there was clearly another. One other person had access to that pistol. What's this? Interesting. Let's ask the defense then. Tell the court who this other person with access was. You in here?
Take that!
Your dad. What's this? What? The boss and his wife? Ah, an unexpected ploy. Hello, that can't be right. Why would they want to frame their only son? Oh. On his parents' behalf, I'd like to give you a penalty. Poor Miss Tiala. I can't imagine what it would be like to be in her position. No more concern for her fiancé. How would she testify against him like this? That was the day of the murder, correct? Yes, everyone in the family received their checkup results that day. When Walkie looked at his face went so pale. But of course, he just found out he had a bullet in his chest. So you were there at the time? Yes, poor Walkie. Walkie found out after his wife flew with him. That must have been quite frightening. He was furious. He ripped his report into shreds. Finally, I had to request another copy to file as evidence. I bought this some cholo, but when I performed without complaint. Walkie's at an age where he's hard to control when he loses his temper. Of course, that little bit of instability is so cute. Great, now he sounds like a psychopath. Teach him. So the only thing.
Hold it!
What if we repress on this? How can we say for certain?
Objection!
Someone else would use that pistol. There was another. Interesting. Let's ask the defense. Tell the court who this person with access was. Represent Alita. Well, of course. I mean, you, Miss Tiala. Me? But why? You were quite clear when you told the courts. You heard about the pistol from the defendant on the day of the murder. In other words, you knew what he was planning.
Objection!
Let me get this straight. You intend to tell us that this lady stole the pistol from her fiancé? And killed a man in cold blood on his behalf? I've heard of people doing strange things for love, but this... It does seem a bit unfathomable, to be sure. I'm all for romance and supporting your partners in life, to be sure. but I think I would hesitate at murder. I hope you do more than hesitate. But what if a different connection could be proven? The connection between the witness and the victim. We might find that she had a personal motive beyond wanting to help her fiancé. That would put things in a slightly different light. What possible connection are you suggesting here? You know what I'm starting to think? I'm starting to think that the police never looked inside that safe. I've been showing a connection between the witness and Miss Diala and the victim.
Take that!
The chart. That looks like a medical chart. Found inside a safe at the Maractus Clinic. I'd like to draw the court's attention to the names written on the chart. What? Miss Diala, whatever. Why is your name on this chart? Her face. Well, care to explain the meaning of this, Miss Diala? I'm not sure what you mean by meaning, Mr. Justice. Her warm little fiancé just froze over. I was on staff at the clinic till half a year ago. It was boring, so I quit. That's all. Is there a problem with that? Miss Diala, you testified that you had no connection to the victim. I don't. Now. I quit half a year ago, didn't I? So there's no connection. Let me guess, you're the kind of guy who can't rest until he knows every last detail of his girlfriend's past. Am I right? That's not true at all. What? Where's the ones I love? Past vlogs and all? No way. There's no connection now. It doesn't fly in the court of law. Doesn't fly. Tough nut. Probably feels right at home with the Kitakis. You left your job in the Maractus Clinic, true. But you remain connected somehow. Very well, Mr. Justice. Show us evidence that proves the witness is still connected to Maractus Clinic. These slippers? Well, I suppose I could...
Objection!
Full head, this trail you think you have found that doesn't lead to the truth. Nor to a long career in the legal profession, yeah? Gee, perhaps you will allow me to do the honors? Why not? It might be nice for a change. Most excellent. Let's rock. I'll take the usual penalty next time, thanks. Well, Mr. Justice, try again. Show us evidence. The shoes that were there.
Take that!
These sandals were found in the Maractus Clinic lobby. They're yours, aren't they? Ah! Well, who knows? I'm sure there are lots of people with those sandals. So sorry, Fraulein, but your act isn't working now. Your moment of hesitation just now cost you. What with you? I thought you were on my side. Perhaps you are unaware that toes leave toe prints. A simple analysis of these sandals will reveal all. Well, now we see your true colors. I was wrong to cooperate with you from the beginning. I just wanted you to help me get Walkie back on the straight and narrow. This court thinks you need to worry less about Walkie and more about yourself. It sounds as though we need to hear a bit more about your story. Your sandals were found in the entrance to the clinic, which means you went there on the day of the murder. There's a little point in denying it. Very well, witness will tell us about this visit. Why did you go to the Maractus Clinic that day? I did go to the clinic that day, my first time in half a year since I quit in January. I went to warn him. After all, I knew Walkie had a pistol. The doctor always was a timid man. Too timid to admit his own mistake. Where else would I have gone? I'm not hiding any dark secrets. I wanted to tell him to be careful as an old friend. By mistake, you mean? The mistake we heard about from the defendant? The botched operation? He was a timid small man, but I never wished him harm. I just thought I should let him know, you know? That does make sense. Yes, but there's still one thing which does not. What's that, Prosecutor Gavin? The sandals left in the lobby, of course. We can assume she wore these sandals to the clinic, yeah? Why did she not wear them home? If it were me, I would have worn them home. I would have worn those sandals home, too. So why were the sandals left behind? You pointed out the contradiction before me. There's probably a good explanation for this, right, Ms. Tiala? Say, for instance, there happened to be a similar pair of sandals there which you wore home by mistake? Actually, that's right. I'm impressed, Mr. Gavin. Oh, it is nothing. There is, after all, no other possible explanation, yeah? Go ahead. Oh, what the? No fair! He's filling the holes in her testimony. Defense may begin the cross-examination. Alright. I'm planning my first time in half a year since I quit in January. I went to learn after all I knew Walkie had a pistol. Doctor was always a timid man, too timid to admit his own mistake. Also, I have gone not hiding any dark secrets. I want to tell him to be careful as an old friend. Okay, we'll just start pressing on everything. No. Ah! I should just press circle.
Hold it!
Around what time did you go to the clinic? I don't remember exactly, but it was after 9:30, I think? And that was the first time he had contact with Dr. Maractus in half a year. Of course it was. He wasn't the kind of boss you made friends with. Why did you go to the clinic that day? Did you want Dr. Maractus to run away? Well, after I failed to stop Walkie, I thought that the only way to avoid harm. Maybe we just called. Why go in person? I called several times that evening, but no one was in. The victim was busy driving home after 9 p.m. that night, remember? But this was proven by the mirror yesterday, yeah? Well, if I warned him, he would run away for sure. And knowing the doctor...
Hold it!
You mean that active malpractice on Walkie, correct? If he had just told Walkie the truth in the beginning, none of this would have happened. True, the operation was the start of this whole affair. Oh, of course, if he told him, he might have been erased by the Katakis much earlier. Disturbing thought. We know that the Maractus Clinic had ties to the Kitaki family. He probably couldn't have gone to the police even if he wanted to. That's why I knew I had to warn him. No dark secrets, eh? What? Look at me however you want, Mr. Justice. You won't find a thing. He's hiding something. I know it. Must have some evidence that proves it, too. You're free to think whatever you like. I went to that clinic with only one thought in mind. I want to tell him to be careful.
Hold it!
But then you'd be betraying Walkie, wouldn't you? No, I did it for him, for us. She went to warn him so that her fiancé would not have to commit such a crime, yeah? I didn't want them to take my Walkie away. No way she went to that clinic just to warn him. You know why she went, Apollo? Trying to figure out what really happened at that clinic. And fast. Bullet. What about the
Objection!
Fairly faulty. Nope. Wrong one. Bird runs to the lamp. It has a red stain on it. Gotta wonder what left that stain. Wait, I know! Maybe it was left there by a red marker. Like they were trying to write their name and slipped? Oh, and then write their name on the lamp cord. That's from my own magic ropes. Wow, it's all mushed. That was one tough safe. No, it looks kind of yummy. Oh! Like ice cream. Our caramel. And have an active imagination, Trucy. Not hiding any dark secrets. The chart.
Objection!
They just got with it from the first place. This chart was found inside a safe in the doctor's office. Yes? Why would this one chart be in that safe? Miss Tiala, you know why it was, don't you? Mind filling me in? Dr. Maractus didn't have the leisure of making mistakes. That's why he wrote up a false report and kept the truth locked away. Bad there, Doctor. This is where you come in, Miss Tiala. The nurse who filled this chart was you, which means you knew about Walkie's failed operation. Interesting. You were in the same position as Dr. Maractus. Kinda makes it hard to claim no connection, doesn't it? You're bold for a novice, I'll give you that. Mr. Justice, you must know I was only a nurse. The doctor was responsible for the chart's contents. This chart business seems to be quite important. Please amend your testimony accordingly. Goodbye, little attorney. My bracelet's reacting again. What is it, Apollo? I felt my bracelet tighten just now. Your bracelet? Just like yesterday, like you said. When the witness is unsure of something, their nervous habit gives them away. But I can't see anything, Apollo. Eh? What's my bracelet reacting to? Wait, maybe. Yes, that has to be it. What has to be it? Your senses, Apollo. They must be sharper than mine. Huh? I can't see it, but you can sense it. I don't know about that, Trucy. I don't have some kind of special power or anything. Listen to me, Apollo. There's a weak point somewhere in Miss Tiela's testimony. But we don't know what her nervous habit is. Well, then what do we do? You have to perceive it yourself, Apollo. With your eyes. And your senses. And it's up to me and my bracelet. I don't know why, but the bracelet helps. Somehow touching it helps me focus. Let's give it a shot and bring down that testimony. Why are you gonna click for now half-year-old chart? Why would I go to the clinic now for a half-year-old chart? Here again. Here again. Wait, the ring! I was thinking it was the ring! Is that the only part where she plays with it? Yeah, so that's where she plays with it. Okay. Found it. Found it. Here again. Why would I...
Gotcha!
Why would I go to the clinic for a half-year-old chart now, you ask? But you know why you would go now, don't you? I don't know what you're talking about. It was quite clear, Miss Tiela. You have a nervous habit. Come on, you said the word now? And you used your right thumb to fiddle with your ring. What? It was unsure. I saw it. Now. That's the key word. The chart wasn't a part of your past. It was a clear and present threat. That's ridiculous! Why, if that were the case, I would have had 6 months to do something about it. Indeed. Which means something happened quite recently. When they make that chart a problem for you now? I've got her on the ropes now. I can feel it. Time to strike the killing blow with evidence. Miss Tiela, there's no use trying to hide it. The chart became a threat to you now because of this. The checkup report.
Take that!
A health checkup report belonging to the defendant. The Kitakis are trying to get out of the business. The health checkup this month was their first ever. What did you think when you heard about this? Nothing. Why should I think anything? Oh, I would think you were positively beside yourself. Because you were afraid. And you knew what Waki's chest x-ray would reveal. A full half year had passed since the operation. You thought you were home free. When the chart came back to haunt you. That's all, Your Honor. What just happened? Did the witness just admit to lying? I sensed it. There was a great aura emanating from her forehead. Very cool. So the lady was lying, it seems. Oh, that's correct. She said she had no connection to the Maractus Clinic. But her connection was deep indeed. A bit too deep. If the Kitakis got a hold of this chart with her name, she'd be finished. Isn't that right, Ms. Tiala? You guessed it. Order! Order! I did it. I broke her testimony. Amazing, Apollo. I didn't see it at all. Daddy was right about you. Wait! Miss Tiala? It's true. That chart was bad news for me. That's why I went to meet the doctor that day. But that's all. I told him about walking and went home. It appears this cross-examination is far from over. What? She hid the truth from us. This is clear, yet it is not clear that this truth has anything to do with the case at hand. Very well. Witness will add this to her testimony. And we'll have a bit more cross-examination. I was so close. You're still close. Keep on her, Apollo. Nothing happened at all, and I warned him. Nothing happened. I warned him, and what?
Hold it!
How did Dr. Marcus respond to the warning? He was quite surprised, panicky even. Why wouldn't he be scared to learn Kotaku was after them? Incidentally, this court is not afraid of any mobsters. Why, we had a life-threatening situation just yesterday right here in this courtroom. Yeah, real impressive the way you stood up to the attack of the amazing Mr. Hat, sir. After which I carried you back to your chambers. Sounds like the judge had quite a fright. Nothing happened in Dr. Marcus' office that day, huh? What about the mess we found? Something definitely happened in the office, Apollo. No, I know. We can't prove when it happened. Nor that Alita was involved in it anyway. Well, let's try putting some evidence up anyway. There's no way she just went to that clinic just to warn him. Do you know why she went, Apollo? I'm trying to figure out what really happened at that clinic. Get fast. I just need to get back to the end. Nothing happened. The broken lamp. What? Come on. Is it the slipper now? The bullet. Okay, now the bullet. You say nothing happened in the doctor's office. I disagree. Take a look at this. What's that? It looks like a squished up ball of clay. Kind of like you, actually. This bullet was found in the Maractus Clinic office. Something did happen in that office, Miss Tiala.
Objection!
Enough of this joking around. The police investigated that clinic.
Objection!
Ah, but this was stuck inside the doctor's safe. Inside safe? I guess police didn't check that far.
Objection!
But there is a problem. How can you say that bullet was fired on that day?
Objection!
Weren't you the one who explained rifling marks to us? The pistol was taken from the Kentucky mansion that day. The marks on this bullet matched the murder weapon. And that proves the firearm was discharged in that office on the day of the murder. Not bad, airful head. Bailiff, have this bullet analyzed immediately. Also, 2 rounds were fired from the gun. It says that in the description. 3 minutes later, a report arrives. The rifling marks on both bullets are identical. Well, seems as though the bullet in the safe was fired from the murder weapon. Perhaps the defense would like to state their position. Well, in that safe proves one fact. The pistol was fired in that office on that day. And at the time of the firing, the safe was open. The safe which contained the top secret chart. You think someone was threatening Dr. Maractus in order to open the safe? Only one person was in a position to do such a thing. Our witness, Alita Tiala. Order! 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 Mr. Justice, where are you going with this? Are you accusing the witness? Alita Tiala knew about Waki Kitaki's botched operation. She got engaged to him without telling him about it. As long as that bullet remains in his chest, his days were numbered. What if she married him, and then the bullet finally reached its destination? What? That reminds me, apparently the Kitakis have been asserting themselves in lawful business practices. They're making quite a great deal of money, a fortune, if you will. Nefarious, so she planned to marry him just to get her hands on this fortune? You keep talking trash about my Alita, and I'll sue you, liar man! Huh? Me? Yeah, you said you'd abuse my Alita! I think you mean accuse. Big difference! Well, you can't have her, she's mine! It was me, I shot that doctor, me! He left me to die, so I left him to die too, there in that park! Walkie! Hold on a second, please. You keep your hands off my Alita, or oh! Miss Tiala? I'm sorry, it's been so long since I've laughed so hard. Something funny. Walkie, wake up and smell reality. Alita, baby? Oh, the signature on the chart and the engagement. I mean, come on, it's so obvious. Even for a brainless spoiled brat such as yourself. Alita! Your honesty is like a breath of foul air, Fräulein. Hey, I was getting out of this clean anyway. So, the family fortune is what you're really after? That's right, I wanted the money. No way, that's whack! I ain't trying to hear that! I should have done the wedding earlier. Oh well. Anyway, can I ask you a question? Who, me? I believe you said you were going to abuse me. Accuse! What crime? What else? Huh? Oh, I'm a bad girl. Sure, I got close to that brat because I wanted his money. But he was the one with a pistol. He could have fired it into the safe after I'd already left the clinic. What? I would never do a thing like that. It was definitely that silly brat. Wait, but... what are you talking about? Trucy? You had the most to lose if that char was found. But I didn't have a pistol, now did I? Well, you could have taken walkies. He didn't mention that, no? All I've heard him say is, it was me, I shot him.
Objection!
That's only because he's trying to protect you. Sorry to intrude in this lovely conversation. But the two of you are forgetting one critical point. What? What point? Certainly the Fräulein wanted the chart. You assume she threatened the doctor into opening that safe, but then... she had taken the chart. Oh! You see? The chart wouldn't have been left in that state. Ah! He's right. Ms. Tiala? Yes? It's clear to this court that you're not a very good fiancé. Oh, I'm flattered. Perhaps it's time you told us the truth? Tell us about yourself, including your actions and whereabouts on that day. Don't forget, we've proven that you were at the Miraculous Clinic on the day of the crime. Witness testimony. Miraculous Clinic 2. Yes, I went to the clinic that day to speak to the doctor. I wanted that chart, but I failed to get it, so I went back to the clinic later. In any case, I didn't shoot him. You don't even have to prove that I stole that pistol, do you? I have proof. That brat was spotted in the park at the moment of the crime. Frankly, I don't think it matters if Dr. Miraculous was shot in the temple or not. He went back later. The chart was dangerous, you understand? I needed to get rid of it. That's why I went that day. But you couldn't get to the chart then, could you? And later that night, Dr. Miraculous was shot. Heard about the shooting. Waited a day, but then I had to go back. No easy feat with the cops all over the place. Ah, that was you? Apollo, that sound! It came from behind this door. Someone's in there. Break in! They left through that window. You were the burglar. That was you two? I've only had one more minute. I could have opened that safe and gotten the charts. What? That's trespassing and brazen at that. Oh, is this a trial for trespassing now? Besides, I can't believe a girl that wanted to protect herself. And they are gangsters, you know. In any case, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination. Ain't a little crime to avoid the big one, eh? Alright. Went to the clinic that day to speak to the... Why that day? That brat was uncontrollable. He was ready to kill. And that would bring in the police. And that chart would become evidence. And I'd be hung out to dry. But the police didn't check the safe, did they? Well, they thought the crime scene was the park. I'll make sure the responsible parties feel the heat. Such sloppiness won't be tolerated, yo. I'm thankful for that sloppiness myself, actually. Okay, so I went back to the clinic. Later, when I heard about what happened, well, I was too scared to do anything that day. I waited until the day after. The 16th, was it? Of course, you and that meddling kid had to get in my way. Why did Dr. Maractus keep that chart around? It was clearly dangerous for him. He could have burned it. Because he's a coward. The chart was his insurance. Insurance? My signature on that chart, to be more specific. That made sure I couldn't betray him. In any case, I did shoot him. Yeah, I have proof I stole that pistol too. He could have stolen it. Could have. Is this some new definition of proof? Well, ask Walkie. He'll tell us.
Objection!
Might I remind you that this is a cross-examination. You might want to keep your baseless theories to yourself. Ugh, he's right, isn't he? That brat was spotted in the park at the moment of the crime. Yeah, but, But what? You have nothing to say. This case is over. It was over the moment that brat was seen in the park. What's the point in dragging out any further? Actually, I don't think it matters if Dr. Rector shot in the temple or not. That doctor shot in the right temple, yes. So it seems. Well, let's review the facts again, shall we? Killer shot from this location. The bullet would have struck our victim square in the forehead. However, the entry wound was in the right temple. Yes, we heard the testimony on this yesterday. At the time of the shooting, the witness was standing here. Just before the gun was fired, he shouted. The victim turned his head to look. And was shot.
Objection!
But that testimony was proven to be a lie. Our egregious panty stealer, Mr. Stickler, did witness the crime. He was standing to the north, next to the trash can where he tossed those panties. Mr. Stickler shot from this location. The bullet could have hit his right temple. Silly, silly attorney. What? Do you remember what you had for breakfast that morning? Do you remember, Trucy? I always had a glass of milk for breakfast. What matters is one thing. The doctor was shot in his right temple. If that's the case, there can only be one explanation. Oh, the panties guy was mistaken.
Objection!
His location was proven. You can't write that off as being mistaken.
Objection!
Then why don't you show us there, forehead? Show you what? Must I explain everything? Very well, let's recap. The witness, Patsy's guy, was standing to the door. Then where was the shooter standing? From what location did the shooter kill? Did the killer shoot the victim? Wait, the witness was standing there. But anyone shoot the victim in the right temple. I merely lay out the facts for us. It's up to the ones possessing the shiny forehead to show us. You can, that is. How could you talk you standing at the killer mark? Wesley Sticker at the witness mark. And of course, Pal Maraxis at the victim mark. Let's hear what the defense has to say. Where was the killer standing when they shot the victim? Someplace else. Back down now, we can't explain this crime. without contradicting ourselves at some point. I know why. Real killer shot from an entirely different location. What are you talking about? I don't see any other place. Apparently, Mr. Justice does. Let's hear it. Where in the park did the killer shoot the victim from?
Objection!
It's time to raise the roof and the stakes. Eh? Penalties are such frightening things, don't you think? What if they were a bit more terrifying? Like so. Double penalty! Airforehead wishes to take us in a new direction. And he must be ready for the challenges ahead. Challenge accepted. It's just time. Are you sure, Apollo? He is the witness, Mr. Stickler's testimony. Believe that, we believe that, and we know where he stood. And the victim turned when he shouted. There's only one place the killer could have been. The killer shot the victim from here. Over here, at the top right, right?
Take that!
This is where the killer shot from. I hadn't thought of that. None of us did, Your Honor. This explains the wound in the right temple. How? I hadn't thought of that. Amusing diversion, Mr. Justice. Penalty? No! Amusing, like your career, Mr. Justice. Fine, rub it in. So kind to try again. He is the witness, Mr. Stickler's testimony. Believe that, and we know where he stood. The victim turned when he shouted. Let's put it. Oh, it was in here, right? Or in the stand.
Take that!
I believe we all owe a debt of gratitude to Ms. Alita Taliala. What do you mean? Thanks to you, we had a chance to review the crime. And this time, we were prepared. Oh, we know that Wesley Stickler was telling the truth. We should have listened to him from the beginning. Wesley Stickler was standing next to a trash can when he saw the two men. He shouted, just as he told us in his testimony. And the victim turned to look in his direction. A shot was fired. The victim was hit in the right temple. Oh no. Oh yes! Which direction was his right temple facing at that moment? That's right, toward the noodle stand. Order! 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 So you're saying the killer was inside the noodle stand?
Objection!
Let's think about this a bit more, shall we? You say the killer was inside the noodle stand? Which would mean the victim, Dr. Marcus, came to the park, wheeling his own murder in the car behind him. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I think you'd notice if you were pulling someone along.
Objection!
Something we should worry about before that. Why was he pulling the noodle stand in the first place?
Objection!
Let's deal with our problems one at a time, shall we? Someone was hiding in the stand. We have not come this far to talk about possibilities. Let's talk about proof, baby. Show us evidence that proves that someone was in that stand. Can I prove that? You want evidence that someone was in the stand? I've got it. Right here. Intriguing. Let's see what you've got. Show us proof that someone was hiding in the noodle stand. Now is it the slippers? The Maractus Clinic, and they're covered with paint. Slippers were found in a trash can near the crime scene. And a single slipper print was found at the scene. Right next to the noodle stand. Oh, and Miss Tiala, your toe print was found in the left slipper. In other words, this is proof you were inside that noodle stand! Yet there was only one slipper mark found at the scene. It must be caught a footprint in good faith.
Objection!
Observe the diagram. A park pathway runs right next to the slipper mark. A slipper wouldn't leave a trace on the cobblestone path.
Objection!
Yet you still cannot say this is a footprint, yeah? Why not? You have an impression left by a single slipper. Where he was on the stand and simply fell to the ground.
Objection!
That's just dumb. One more thing. A noodle stand is typically clear with the tools of the noodle-making trade. There's no room for a person to ride in there. You have a point. Does someone have hidden in that stand? Hello. I think I might be onto something. I think I figured out one of our pieces of evidence. In order to make room in the stand, some things would have to be... Well, Mr. Justice? You have proof that someone could have hidden in the stand? I can prove one thing. Someone did scheme to clear space in that stand. The bulls.
Take that!
This is a noodle bowl from the stolen Eldrin's noodle stand. Yes, and what about it? We discovered a large quantity of these bowls yesterday. In the lobby of the Maractus Clinic. A large quantity of noodle bowls in the victim's clinic. Mr. Eldrin was very clear about those bowls. Well, I don't care who did it. Without that stand, I'm finished. All my noodle bowls were in there, too. Yet the bowls were removed. At night, there was space inside that noodle stand. Space created at the Maractus Clinic, no less. Right around the time that you were there, Miss Alita Tiala. Stop! Who wasn't any more of these wild fantasies? No, not fantasies. They're worse lies than those spoiled pickup lines. I would like to remind the witness of her current status. The court does not consider you entirely innocent. Show me innocent, I'll show you a fairy tale. In any case, the defense has somehow made its point. The witness had both a motive and an opportunity to kill Dr. Maractus. More fairy tales. This whole trial is a fairy tale. And please, pull us back down to reality, Miss Tiala. I'm giving you one last chance to explain yourself. This is it. Why was Dr. Maractus pulling that stand that night? And what was Alita Tiala doing inside it? Time to get to the bottom of this case. Tiala's explanation. That night, I went to ask Dr. Maractus for the chart. I had no intention of ever letting that chart fall into the Kentucky family's hands. But Dr. Maractus didn't understand. For some reason, he thought the Kentuckys had sent me. So I gave up and went home. All I did was talk to him. You knew about the botched operation. So you tried to get rid of the chart to save yourself. I won't make excuses. And I did warn the good doctor. I gave him a chance. Told him that Brad got his health checkup report. And that he was coming to settle the score. I see. Very well, Mr. Justice, begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. This is the last testimony. Either I perceive the truth, or it's over. Okay. What are you perceiving this time? I went to ask for the chart. No intention of ever letting that chart fall into the Kentucky family's hands. For some reason he thought I had to me. Gave him my home. All I did was talk to him. My last chance. Hello, any word from your bracelet? Yeah, actually. I felt it respond. I couldn't see a thing. It's up to you, Apollo. And I perceive the truth. Here comes justice. The only time that she's in that same state where she was doing her little fiddling is this line. That night, I asked Dr. Maractus for the chart. Here again. Nope, she's not doing the same nervous habit this time. The chart fall in the Kentucky family hands. Don't understand because he thought the Kentuckys had sent me. Eve. I'm wondering about her scarf. It looks weird. Went home. Yeah, there it is. She's playing with the scarf.
Gotcha!
All I did was talk and lie. What? Show me proof! Pretty sure about this one. I think I'm getting the hang of this. Little slip in confidence and I give it all away. The proof is you, Miss Tiala. All I did was talk to him, you claim. Yet you can't hide your nervous twitch when you say these words. My twitch? What are you talking about? You have a habit of scratching the area of your neck around the edge of your scarf. What? This is working better than I'd hoped. Her unconscious actions tell the truth she won't say. Habits and lies, 2 dots. Connect the dots and find the truth. Don't look at me like that! I told you the truth! Don't you recall what really happened in that office? You can't keep your hands off your neck, can you? Seems that nervous habits are unconscious reactions that manifest when someone is trying to hide something. You can hide behind your scarf, Miss Tiala. Something happened between you and the victim in the Maractus Clinic office. And I've got proof that shows exactly what happened. What are we looking at? It's something happened between you and the victim. Clinic office. Oh, the lamp.
Take that!
Oh, what's that? You're touching your scarf again. There's something unusual about this lamp. The bulb is broken, and there's a red splotch on the cord. Seeing how you hide your neck? I think I can come up with a plausible explanation for the lamp's state. Well, spit it out! This talking in circles nonsense is killing me! Very well. The answer is very simple, Ms. Alita Tiala. Please remove your scarf. This is a trial to determine what happened in the park. It would seem to have drifted off targets.
Objection!
We'll find out soon enough if we're drifting as soon as the witness removes her scarf. I won't do it. This is a date. I'm unrelated third party. You can't order me to remove. Miss Tiala, I'm afraid you've forgotten what's already been proven. What? You're hardly unrelated. Please remove your scarf. No! No! I knew it. So I was right, wasn't I, Miss Alita Tiala? Your neck isn't what I think it is. Something did happen that night at the Maractus Clinic. You needed to get that chart back no matter what it took. If you had to steal your fiance's pistol to do it. But wait, looking at this lamp and the witness's neck, looks like the very opposite happened. Exactly. The victim in the clinic that night was this witness, specifically. You tried to threaten Dr. Maractus and he attacked you. That's what happened that night at the Maractus Clinic. Order! 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 Will someone please tell me what really happened? It's told you the truth already. I went to the clinic that night to warn Dr. Maractus. That gangster knows everything. He's coming for you. Looks like looks like my clinic's seen its last patient. We have to get rid of that chart. Quick, open your safe. Give it to me. So you can save your own skin. What? I know what you're up to. You want in with the family. If they see that chart, you're finished. Leaving me holding the short straw. If I'm going down, I want some company. You. And what happened next? He jumped at me and knocked me to the floor. And he took that cord? How Maractus was serious. Deadly serious. He really tried to strangle me. I must have blacked out. So, you were the victim. And the red splotch on the cord was your lipstick. I didn't want to remember that night. That's why I didn't bring it up. There, are you happy now? Eh. I was out cold, almost killed. And you claimed my dice. I then snuck into that noodle stand. How could I? Ack! Well, one thing is clear. I now know what really happened in Maractus Clinic. It would seem that our victim was not entirely without blame himself. I'm sorry. I get so nervous just thinking of it. It's hard to breathe. I told you everything. Can I go home now? You bear some responsibility for events that day, true. If you were also a victim, this court would owe you some sympathy. Well, Mr. Justice, I believe this clears up the remaining questions for Ms. Tiala. When did this happen? Suddenly everyone's sympathizing with her. I don't know what to think anymore, Apollo. I mean, is that it? And do we know everything we need to know about Miss Tiala? Very well. This finishes the cross-examination.
Objection!
Not so fast. This party's just getting started. Now, we rock. What? Those spikes on your head are softer than they look. Or do you not have the stomach to go all the way? Prosecutor Gavin? How Maractus choked Alita Tiala. She fell unconscious. What happened next? He's right. There is more we don't know. But she was choked hard enough to leave that mark. She would have been out for a while. Even still, what if it was her in that noodle stand? Alita Tiala, half dead. Dr. Maractus pulling that stand. A bullet fired from inside the noodle stand? What if it's all true? We might have already figured out what truly happened that night. Miss Alita Tiala, as you can see, we're not through with you just yet. You really want to blame me for this murder, don't you? You too, Prosecutor Gavin. Me, a frole, and I only wish to know the truth. Well, let's go back over what we've learned up till now. On the day of the murder, Walkie saw his checkup report, from which he learned about the bullet still inside him. But he took a pistol from the family stash, with the intent to give Dr. Maractus some of his own medicine. And Miss Tiala heard about this from Walkie, so she went to the Maractus clinic ahead of him, in order to get rid of the chart with her signature. But then, something happened. Sounds like you figured it all out. But remember, I was the victim. I was out cold. But what about Dr. Maractus? That does seem to be the problem. He had just strangled Alita Tiala, perhaps he thought, to death. What did he do after his crime? I was just knocked out, not dead. From the state of his clinic and the scene in the park, I think it's clear what the good doctor did next. Well, Forehead, care to guess? Well, Mr. Justice, what did Dr. Maractus do? What if he did think he killed Alita Tiala? Do you have evidence to show what he did next?
Take that!
Maybe? As his next move, Dr. Maractus stole Gaiogen's noodle stand. What? Killing me disturbed him that much? So much he randomly stole a noodle stand? It wasn't so random. Remember all the bowls in the clinic's foyer? Bowls that belong inside that stand? I think it's pretty obvious, don't you? That stand was at the clinic. However, the question is, why did he remove the bowls? Maybe because the stand was heavy? Or he wanted to put something in the stand in their place. Ah! Wait, you don't mean... I do. Dr. Maractus did replace those bowls with something. Your corpse, Ms. Tiala. My corpse? Dr. Marcus panicked. He thought he'd killed you. His next move would be to dispose of the body. That's crazy talk. You're all crazy.
Objection!
Then let's think about it, logically. The doctor had a place to dispose of you in mind. But on his way there, who should he run into but the defendant, walkie-talkie?
Objection!
I question your logic. What's this, Prosecutor Gavin? Park is a dead end. Why would he head in that direction to begin with? That's right! He had no reason to go there. Oh, now I get it. It was a trick! That spoiled brat made him do it! He made the doctor steal the stand!
Objection!
Tell me, why would someone go to a dead end? Unless the park was his destination. What? Apparently the defense has an idea. Tell us where Dr. Marcus was heading with the stand. Here, please show us on this diagram. Where exactly the victim was dragging him. What? Wait, is this a river? If this is a river...
Take that!
Let me see the whole... There? That's a... river! Yes, Your Honor. I scarcely need to explain why. A perfect place to dispose of a body. He was gonna throw me into that river? He didn't have many other options, Frolin. I believe this clears up all the remaining questions. Victim pulling the stand, and the defendant before him. And inside the stand, you, Miss Alita. And then, the announcement. Wesley Sticker of panty snatching fame walks up. Seeing the two men, he shouts in that instant. So, I shot him? You were the only one who could have stolen Walkie's pistol. It had to be you. Well, Ms. Tiala. Nice work. You mean, I'm right? I mean, you've done a fine job dreaming of a story. To get that spoiled brat off the hook. You're the one who's dreaming. Apollo's backed up everything he said with facts. If you're so sure he's making it up, give us another reason. Why was Dr. Maracus pulling that stand through the park? Who knows? There's one gaping hole in your logic. I think Mr. Gavin knows whereof I speak. Where of what? I believe she's still trying to deny this. Is this true, Prosecutor Gavin? Must I always be the one to point at our foreheads as? Maybe there really is something. I believe the Frolin speaks of El Doctor's car. His car? That's right! The Miraculous Clinic has that big garage. What's that? A green sports car, was it? Why would he steal the stand in the first place? If he wanted to carry a body, he would have used his car. And so we find our victim without probable cause to steal that stand. And the defense without a case. I have an idea. You know that green car? I bet it wouldn't run. It was broken. Ah, what excellent counter-arguments, Frolin. Too bad you're quite wrong. Don't tell me you've forgotten what happened to your daddy? Daddy? That's right. At night, the car that hit Mr. Wright was that green sports car. Oh yes, I nearly forgot about it. Afterward, he drove it back to that garage he ran fine. That's right. And so why didn't he use his beloved sports car? A glaring contradiction, to be sure. More glaring than your forehead. No. No! Order! 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 Well, Mr. Justice, why didn't Dr. Marcus use his car to carry the body? I'd rather surrender, I hear. Some advice. Now's a good time to review all you know. Everything you've learned over the last 2 days. Everything I've learned. Mr. Justice, this contradiction casts doubts on your entire case. This is truly your last chance. The defense will explain to us what happened that night. carried the body in the... Yeah, he carried the body in the car. Victim used the car to carry the body. Ah, so you're throwing out everything you've proven up until now? Well, if the car wasn't broken. I admire your adaptability in the face of impossible odds. Yet this does not explain why he was pulling that stand. What's going on? Is Prosecutor Gavin trying to tell me something? Perhaps we need to ask you again. This is truly your last chance. Hence will explain to us what happened that night. Someone else stole the stand? Actually, it was someone else who stole the stand. But why then was the victim pulling it? Well, he would have had to steal it from someone else. That's where we started, Mr. Justice. An explanation for why he didn't use the car. I'll ask you again. It didn't run. Yeah, the car didn't run. I have an idea. It's all coming together. That night, Captain Miraculous couldn't use his car. Huh, now you're making even less sense than usual. Not according to my information, Ms. Tiala. Put one and one together, and the explanation is simple. If it's so simple, perhaps you can show us some evidence. Show us proof why the car wouldn't run that night. Because these were in the exhaust pipe? Let's see now. Panties! Again?! All sorts of things come out of my panties. Even the truth. Another crime was committed the night of the murder. The theft of these panties, the latest in a string of similar thefts, actually. But that night, the snatcher was caught in the act. A brave young girl chased the thief until he hid in the Miraculous Clinic garage. What? Snatcher hid the panties there before running. Perhaps someone in this court remembers where he hid them? Why, weren't they found in the car's exhaust pipe? Exactly. By the way, I learned something yesterday. A very important piece of information. And I learned it from you, Prosecutor Gavin. So you were here investigating? And that was on my way home when my hog gave up the ghost. Your hog? My motorcycle won't start a clogged exhaust pipe. Too bad. Looks like such a nice bike, too. I believe they could break just from that. Cars and motorbikes, they're all the same. Clog the exhaust and they won't run. My, how interesting. While Miss Tiala and the doctor were struggling, the panty snatcher snuck in the Miraculous garage. From that time until the time we found these, that car wouldn't start. What? That's why Dr. Miraculous had to use the noodle stand. It was the next closest thing he could think of. Well, Miss Tiala, this wraps your doubts up nice quietly. This wraps your doubts up quite nicely, I think. So it does. Where? Where am I? It's so dark. Can't see. Cramped. The pain. My throat's burning. What's your problem? You, Doc. I know what you did. Lucky? You lied to me! And so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine, man! Wait, let me explain. Fine, I'll give you your last request. Listen, you're being tricked, but not how you think. It's not just me. No! He'll ruin everything! I have to stop him. Say this at once, you two! Funny, this isn't the way it was supposed to turn out. Oh well, too bad. There's still one mystery. How did he manage to disappear from that stand? I saw Dr. Shaw. I heard the witness running. I believe we heard as much from Wesley Stickler. He had once used a public phone to inform the police. Which is when I made my escape. Which is when you left that slipper print. Dr. Marcus didn't bother taking my slippers off. I threw them out after I stepped in that paint, though. That was your mistake. No, my biggest mistake was coming to you for help, Mr. Justice. Eh? I believed in you. You and your anything agency. If anyone would get Walkie declared guilty, it was you. I believe we've reached a conclusion of sorts. Prosecutor Gavin, how is Ms. Alita Tiela doing? She's confessed to everything. We're processing her arrest now. Prosecutor Gavin sure seems calm for someone who just lost. I think he already knew. He figured out she was the killer a while ago. Some advice, now's a good time to review all you know. And everything you've learned over the last 2 days. He lost, but I didn't exactly win either. Something the matter, air full head. Looks like it's time to announce a verdict. Yay, the confetti is falling again. Court is adjourned. June 17th, 4:12 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. This is like definitely multiple videos at this point. I just kept going. Great job, Apollo. You did it. Yeah, we did. Somehow. Walkie's off the hook. Free to become the gangster he's always wanted to be. And here's you to thank. Hey, attorney man! You're gonna pay for what you do to my Alita, Holmes! Or to play my couch? You give me my Alita back! Stupid quiet-headed attorney with a death wish! Enough, Walkie. Oh, enough, Walkie. Ah, Mr. Kentucky. It's high time you open your eyes, Walkie. What do you know, old man? I think it's about time you open yours. Giving up life trying to become some kind of businessman? Don't talk about what you don't understand, Walkie. Afraid the guard is gonna throw them both out. If not in jail, wouldn't be a happy ending. Hey, maybe we can help them out. We know why Mr. Kentucky needs so much money. Maybe we should tell Walkie. Oh, Walkie! Apollo has something to tell you. I do? Put me on the spot. What's that? Show him the reason why, Apollo. Why is Mr. Kentucky trying to become a businessman? I don't know. The dirt? Think about Walkie. Think about your condition. I talked with your mother, Little Plum, yesterday. It pays, but we need a lot of money right now. Clean money, that is. She doesn't mean you aren't really, are you? I searched the globe, and I found one. Doctor who can take that bullet out of you, Walkie. It's an expensive procedure. Man, but you got plenty of money already, don't you? I won't use it. It was the gangster life that did this to you, Walkie. I want to help you. I want to do it clean. Please understand, Walkie. Dad! Is this old man? Always you looking at. Walkie? Listen good, old man! One day, I'm gonna take you out. Then we'll see who's the OG. You try to hide in your business, I'll find you. Oh, geezer? Am I Walkie? No, it's as it should be. Mr. Kentucky, like some more without the puppy dog eyes. I'm glad to have met you. I'm not so good with words, but I know a professional job when I see one. Thank you. Who? Me? I don't think. Someday, I'll bake you one of our latest, the Kentucky lime pie. He's opening a pie shop? So long. And he was gone. Well, let's head back, Apollo. To the right anything agency. Hey, since when do I work at your agency? Oh, we make a good team. Don't just stand there, let's get going. Oh, why not? She did help me out. And there's a few questions that still need answers. Like this power of mine that she showed me. My bracelet. Anyone can help me figure it out? It's her. Though I can't say I care much for what her father has become. Oh, that's right! We had to go someplace first. Uh-huh? Where? What? It's a claim or reward from Miss Aldoon! Salty noodles. Right. You guys stand back already? Oh, and after that, you can come see my show! With a special appearance by the amazing Mr. Hat! Oh, it's special, alright? Please, anything but him! Oh. I forgot the PS5 is in French. It launched in French, so the game's still in English, it's fine. Right. The PS5 is in French. So, that wraps up the second case. Woo! Twists and turns, and that was definitely multiple parts. Hopefully I find good split points. But thank you for watching the however many parts this was, 0, 2, or 3. If you enjoyed the videos, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoyed it, consider supporting the channel. All support greatly helps with keeping content like this and more. Find links for that in the description below, along with the links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching. Thank you again, Capcom Creators, for the code. And until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!